In addition to being known for its beautiful environments, exotic wildlife, and diverse cultures, Africa has in fact some of the poorest nations, largest populations, and harshest living conditions in the world. Many of us have seen the pictures depicted by the media and different charity organizations really giving us a true picture of the needs and wants in Africa. But the question is, what really do the Africans need? And how poor are African countries? As we look into really what is causing this in Africa, I look forward to showing you how others are helping and ultimately how I plan on helping the generations of tomorrow. Africa is a nation full of natural resources, yet the yearly income of Africans are some of the lowest in the world. Nearly half of its people live on less than $1 a day. And as mind-blowing as that is, you add in conflicts, harsh environments, and corrupt governments, and that equals a devastated economy, forcing countries to borrow for goods and fuel. According to the set guidelines established by international organizations, African nations are several decades behind developed nations. In 1996, the average of GNP per capita in industrialized world was $27,086, compared with Africa's $528. This therefore illustrates that industrialized countries are roughly 51 times wealthier than African nations. So that at an annual growth rate of a mere 3%, it would take Africa roughly 120 years to reach today's level of wealth. Of course, Western nations are unlikely to stand still while this happens. Thus it seems that the African society striving to catch up with the West have an almost impossible task ahead of them. We see the movies, we see the heartbreaking commercials, but really, what do they need? Africa has been blessed with abundance of water. You have the Congo, the Nile, the Zambezi, the Niagara, and the Lake Victoria, which is the world's second largest lake. But according to Panda.org, Africa is the second driest continent in the world after Australia, and millions of Africans still suffer from the water shortage throughout the year. 14 countries in Africa are already experiencing water stress. And by the year 2025, another 11 countries are expected to join, making this nearly 50% of Africa's predicted population of 1.45 billion people in water stress or scarcity. I hear these stats and I'm shocked. But it is not only water that needs help, it's food, it's clothing, and as I introduce Tom's Shoes, it's shoes. Tom's Shoes states that in 2006, an American traveler, Blake McCoskey, befriended children in Argentina and found that they had no shoes to protect their feet. In this, they were getting soil-transmitted diseases from the very ground that they walked on. Patient.com describes this painful disease as easy to get without the right protection. They go on by describing how these worms cause infection through contact with parasite eggs or larvae that thrive in warm, moist conditions in Africa. Wanting to help, Blake created Tom's Shoes, a company that would match every pair of shoes purchased with a pair of new shoes given to a child in need. The one-for-one concept was made and everyone jumped on. Blake returned to Argentina with a group of family, friends, and staff later that year with an astonishing 10,000 pairs of shoes made possibly by the caring Tom's customers. People, again, have eaten up this one-for-one giving concept, and it is something that I feel is a necessity in whatever you do in life. Since the beginning in May 2006, Tom's has given away over 600,000 pairs of shoes to children in need. They continue to strive and look for bigger and better things, all while having a servant's heart. This amazing business plan really got my attention a couple years ago, and ever since then, I've wanted to really pursue this dream. Being involved with many groups on campus, including Tom's, my passion for Africa has grown to a point where I know that this is my calling. My sophomore year, I had the privilege of writing a 62-page marketing research paper over Tom's. And as many as you look and say that's a privilege, it really was. I can honestly say that it is something that has really changed my life and is the greatest thing that I've gotten to do here at ACU. But while in this, I had the opportunity to pick the mind of Blake McCoskey, the CEO of Tom's Shoes, about some issues. He found a need and made a product to fit that need. Within my interview, I asked him what was one thing that he was scared about going into this. And he replied with the simple concept of believing in himself. Many thought that he could not do that, and many thought that he was crazy. But he channeled all those comments into a successful story. And in that, I am inspired, and I have been inspired. My vision to really chase my dream is to go over to Africa, to find a need, to make a product, to bring it back to the States, raise funding, and really turn around that fund and take that funding and put it back into the African economy to raise awareness for poverty and to just give them a better life. As easy as this is said, I feel like that a lot of people have said that they want to do that, but my passion has run really deep. And I've just been waiting for the right opportunity to really take that next step in my dream. And about 2 weeks ago, I was introduced to a lady named Kim Pace. And she is head of Brackenhurst Ministries over in Kenya. And as I got talking to her, I kind of picked her mind about just some of the issues in Africa and some of my passions. And she actually invited me to go over to Africa for 11 weeks to not only work at a church camp over there, but also get to know people, get to know networking, and truly just make some connections. I'm truly excited about this, and I feel like that the Lord is going to lead me in ways that I've never seen before. In conclusion, as you can see, the need for Africa is something that will never end. But if we put our prayers and talents together, anything, and I mean anything, is possible. Blake McCoskey was not the smartest guy, but he took a chance, and he was rewarded by that chance. I hope that one day I can look back and know that I did my all to chase my dream. And in this, what is your dream, and what are you doing to chase it?